guys, it's Jen, and I am just going to share with you a process video today, but I wanted to start a little bit differently. Every Thursday I'm going to use products from my stash to create a layout, just, stuff that I've bought recently or old scraps or whatever, or mixing the two. Today I'm going to do a mixture of the two, and I just kind of wanted to share with you my process of how I think about putting different things together. So I'm starting with these two photos of my daughter, and this is a bouquet that she picked for me on Mother's Day of a bunch of dandelions that didn't even have the fluff still on, and it was just adorable, and it was this huge massive bouquet. And so I knew I had bought some papers recently. I haven't met a floral paper, maybe I have met a few, but I love floral papers, and so I have a lot of them. And this one by Create Paper Poolside, it's a newer collection. I just had to have it when I bought it, but I don't want to use this for a background because it's super busy, but it matches. My daughter's got a kind of a pinky colored sweater on, and so I thought that would match with the paper. I'm going to cut it up though. And then I found this paper that's also from the Poolside collection, so it coordinates with this paper. And I thought that might be a nice background, but I'm not sold on it yet. And then this is just my process flipping through my papers. I found this old Cosmo Cricut paper that I thought was a nice yellow, and I love the ombre. And with papers like this, I have a tendency to want to use them for a background. And so I thought that could possibly work. But when I put my photos on it, I felt like it was really, I don't know, it wasn't light enough for my photos. It didn't make them pop, although I know I can layer things behind my photos to remedy that, so I haven't taken it out of the running, and I might use a strip of it here or there. I'm not sure yet. I found this paper that says hello, and I just think it's cute. This is a paper I would tend to cut up. And then I found this paper, oh, and that's a Bella Boulevard paper. And then this paper from Create Paper's The Pier collection. This is a cut apart sheet, which I bought for the cut aparts, but then when I looked back at them, I didn't think I would use them as much as I would use this side, and so I'm going to use this side for my background. And that feels nice to me. It has some of the same tones as some of these flowers, or, flowers in the photos and stuff, and it just makes for a nice background, and it kind of coordinates well with some of the other papers I pulled. Then I went to my scraps and I found some more papers that I love. This is a Maggie Holmes paper, and I just really love this wood grain. So I thought about this, and I don't love the way it looks on here. I did love the way it looked with the floral kind of, but I find it's helpful to pair papers from the same company. I don't think you have to stay in the same line, but especially Create Paper, a lot of their patterns go well together. So this is from a Maggie Holmes collection, open book, and just this little strip I thought I might use for something. This is super old, basic gray, 2009. I love this paper still, and so I thought that might be a nice layering piece. This XOXO, I thought the sentiment was nice, and it might work well with this paper. This is another one that I thought might work well with the paper. I believe this is from Pebbles, and so it depends if I want to go more blue or more green, which one I'll choose. And then I always want to bring in some sort of element to provide some contrast. So you can see with these papers, I've got a mixture of patterns and textures, just different sizes of pattern and things like that, floral stripes, polka dots. And then I always want to bring in an element of high contrast. So that is usually for me like black paint splatters or something. That's why you'll see me doing that so often, because I like to have a high contrast on some of my stuff. And so I pulled these two papers. This is from, this is an old Cosmo Cricut paper as well. And then this is from the Dear Lizzie Polka Dot Party line. It's from a paper pad, so I just use this for layering, but I thought I'd pull those to bring in a little bit of that contrasting color. And so I just kind of wanted to like give you an insight onto my thought process for how I pick papers when I'm just going from my stash. I like getting kits because everything goes together that's in the kit, and you can kind of just thumb through it. But I know some people find it hard to go through their stash and pull things that will coordinate, and so I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and get started on the layout, and I'm just going to, like I said, use this paper from the pier as my base, and I really like the way it turned out on this base. I'm going to mount my photos on white cardstock just to give them a little, I know I'm going to use that kind of bold floral, and so I want to give the photos a little bit of separation from that patterned paper. And I probably do this on about 80% of my photos, give them a white border, because I just really like the way it looks and it helps the photos to stand out, I think. And so I pulled out some thickers from Maggie Holmes, and this is from her new confetti collection. They're super cute. I love these stickers that are kind of like phrases and little different pieces. And I thought I might use that word that says lovely and then make my title "You Are Lovely," which I thought was a good sentiment for this occasion where my daughter gave me this little bouquet of what she thought were flowers. I just cut that paper from the poolside collection, and I just ripped the edges with my ruler. And I like that it's not as jagged of an edge as if you just rip it freehand, but it just gives it a little bit of texture. And it's hard to see in the video, but it really shows up in the close-up photos. So if you watch to the end, you'll be able to see that. And it's just a nice little touch, I think. So I decided against that title with the word lovely in it. I just didn't like the way it was looking, and so I'm going to go with this. These stickers are from Amy Tangerine, and these words say love you, and I'm going to end up going with that. And I kind of like the way that the Y can kind of rest on top of the photo there, and I'll end up painting those. So now I'm just pulling a few of those other papers that I showed you at the beginning and layering them up beneath the photo to kind of give my photos a little shelf to rest on. And I really like the way that ends up looking. And I ripped the edges so that it would kind of match, everything would match a little bit. And you can tell I mixed the patterns in a way that the floral is definitely the most bold, and then I have a polka dot and a text print. And so there's a variety of styles of paper there, or patterns on the papers that work well together. So I'm just taking a little bit of white acrylic paint and putting that on top of my letters here, just using a little bit of a craft mat there so I can work messy. And then I'm just going to adhere my layers. I really like the way that the layers turned out. So this is kind of a go-to pattern for me, is to get a bunch of papers and layer them up beneath my photo, whether I put my photo on the right hand side or if I have multiple photos. Sometimes I'll make this into an L shape, but it's a good pattern design for me. In this instance, I'm going to take everything kind of on a vertical, just right down the middle. It will be balanced that way. So and you'll see that this So Sweet sticker came from the Maggie Holmes confetti sticker sheet. At least I think it did. And I went ahead and wrote my journaling. Now, because I painted those letters, they have a painterly look to them, and so I wanted to add a little bit of that effect to the background paper. Even though the background had kind of a painty texture, it wasn't quite enough, I didn't feel like, so I just added some of that white acrylic paint that I already had on my mat to the background of the layout, and I like the way that it looks. And then I'm using a Distress ink in Sponge Sugar and just putting that on some packaging, spritzing a little bit of water onto it, and then I'm going to dot that around my layout. And I'm focusing on the top left corner, and I'll put some in the bottom right corner. Those will be my kind of areas of focus for that mist or the ink. And I did get a little bit on the top kind of right side that I don't really love the way it looks, but I'm living with it, and it ends up looking fine once I get the title down. It doesn't bother me at all. So just added a little bit of texture to that background. And you can see it actually a lot better in the video than you could see it in real life. And I think it looks okay in the video, but it looks better in real life. So now I'm trying to decide. I know I don't want the title to just be Love You. I have a tendency to really like titles that have mixed fonts. So I want to do a bit of a subtitle. And so my title is going to be I Just Love You. And I thought I was going to use these stickers from the Dear Lizzie Polka Dot Party collection sticker sheet, but I didn't. I wanted to bring some of the teal up to the top. So I decided to go with these Jelly Bean Soup letters. And I've had these for a long time, so they're a little bit older. And I'm using all of the capital letters, an uppercase font there. And then I'm going to look through my Maggie Holmes confetti collection. I thought that these letters needed to rest on something, or just something was missing from the title. It just looked a little bit flat to me. Just the words I just. Love You looks fine, but I was having a hard time with the way I just was looking. So I was thinking I might put a little label or something beneath the letters. And so that's what I'm looking for now. And I'm looking within the crepe paper lines at a bunch of different sticker sheets I have from different collections. And I'm not really finding anything that I love. And so I'm just going to play around and keep looking for a second here. And then I just end up putting the letters down. And I'm going to remedy what I think is a situation by adding some little hearts. And so I pulled these from the Maggie Holmes confetti sticker sheet, and I'm going to add a couple, and I end up putting them to the right of the title. And I like the way that the bottom of the heart rests in between those words there. So, and I also pull this XOXO, and I'm going to tuck it just beneath the U, because I want to bring a little bit of that yellow that's so vibrant in the floral pattern up to the title area. And so now I'm just looking for a few other things that I could add. And I found a little yellow heart. That's from Simple Stories I Am collection sticker sheet that you can see right there. And I like the way that it's looking now. I thought about adding one down by that So Sweet little label sticker, but I didn't end up liking it. So I found this little sticker that says, it's a chipboard sticker that says, "Oh, happy day," with a little butterfly on it. And I'm going to put it beneath my journaling. And for right now, I have it to the left of my journaling, but I'll end up moving that because I end up wanting everything centered on the layout. I wanted to put something at the top, and I just felt like I needed to put something in the center. And so when I decided that, it felt right to move that chipboard piece to the center as well. So that little scalloped piece that you see at the top is from the branding strip, and I'm not really loving it. I do feel like I want to bring a little hint of the black that's contrasting element in the paper and in that little chipboard sticker, but I haven't found what I want to do yet. I end up putting that border sticker from the Dear Lizzie Polka Dot Party sticker sheet up there. And then I'm going to put this label that says Best Day Ever, and that's from the Maggie Holmes sticker sheet. And I like that it just brings a little bit of black up there. So now I'm looking through my enamel dots to see if that's what I can add for a finishing touch, and I end up going through some sequins and adding some little gold sequins instead because I just didn't have the colors that I needed. I think I need to buy some kind of bright pink and orangey pink enamel dots, but that's another story. So I was trying to decide what color of sequin I wanted to use, and I decided on some gold ones. I was going to go with a matte gold, but they looked more brown, and I wanted to kind of bring in that yellowy tone, and so I went with a more shimmery, shiny gold because the brassiness kind of picks up more on the yellow tone of some of those elements. And so that I'm going to add that, and that's going to be my final touch to the layout. And I'm going to use some Ranger Multi-Medium Matte to glue those down. And I love that adhesive. It's nice and strong, and it dries to a matte finish just in case you get anywhere you don't mean to. So that is going to complete the layout. I hope that you enjoyed, and here are the close-up photos. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment below, and I will leave links to the places where you can find my work in the information section below the video. Thanks so much for watching. See you later.